Good morning, dear students. Last class we studied about the preparation of alkanes. So, what are the general methods of preparation, and especially how methane is prepared by different methods and ethane is prepared by different methods we have discussed. And here today we are going to discuss about the properties of alkane. So, in the properties we have to discuss here the physical properties and chemical properties. In physical properties, what we have to consider, what are its physical state, what is the solubility, how the melting point and boiling point vary, and another about since in some cases we have to consider about the densities. But the 4 points are important. So first we have to consider the physical properties. Physical properties. In physical properties, first consider about the physical state. So in the physical state, the first 4 members, that is methane, ethane, propane and butane, from C1 to C4, these are colorless and odorless gases. These are colorless and odorless gases. Next, from C5 to C17, these are colorless and odorless liquids. And still higher members from C18 onwards, these are colorless, wax-like solids. Okay, next come to what is the boiling point? So the alkanes are non-polar in nature. So as these are non-polar in nature, they have very low boiling points among all type of hydrocarbons or organic compounds, we can say. So they have the lowest boiling points if compared with this the number of carbon atoms of the same number of carbon atoms among all other groups. Okay, so they have the low boiling points, and however with increase in molecular mass the boiling point increases. So they have the lower boiling points, but it increases with increase in molecular mass. Increases with increase in molecular mass. Okay. Another thing I want to say here, between the straight chain and branch chain isomer, the straight chain isomers have higher boiling points than the branch chain isomers. For example, if you consider about that is CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3, butane, and another isobutane CH3, CH, CH3 and CH3. If we consider, this is butane, this is the straight chain isomer, and this is isobutane. You can say isobutane or 2-methyl isobutane or 2-methyl propane. So it has lower boiling point than this, because due to this straight chain, its molecular size is more. So due to more molecular size, more van der Waals force of attraction, in this boiling point of straight chain isomer is higher than branch chain isomer. So what? Straight chain isomer have higher boiling point than branch chain isomers. Okay. Next, come about melting point. So melting point. So these compounds have very low melting points. So with increase in molecular mass, the melting point increases. But it is found that the compound which have even number of carbon atom, thus melting point has slightly higher than that of the immediate hydrocarbons or immediate alkane with odd number of carbon atoms. So it generally increases with increase in molecular mass. But if it comes about the even number of carbon atom, then increases more. Then when it comes about odd number of carbon atom, it increases less. So in this way it increases, but in a zigzag manner. So the melting point of hydrocarbon increases in a zigzag manner. For example, suppose it has so first from C1, suppose we consider about C2. So first it increases more, then to C3 it increases less, then to C4 increases more, then from C5 increases less, for C6 increases more, for C7 increases less. So in this way, so when this is even number of carbon atom, it increases more than that of the hydrocarbon which has less odd number of carbon atom. In that case it increases more. So in all cases it increases. Look here, so it increases more, and here it increases less, and here increases more, increases less, increases more, and again increases less. So in this way C2, C3, C4, C5, C6, C7. So because the even number of carbon atom, that is more symmetrical and it can fit in the crystal lattice well. So in this way, more symmetrical nature, the alkane which has even number of carbon atom, that has higher melting point than the immediate hydrocarbon or alkane having less number of carbon atom. Next come to, so it increases with increase in molecular mass, increases with increase in molecular mass in a zigzag way. In a zigzag way. That means so even number of carbon atom, even number of carbon atom, alkanes having even number of carbon atoms, alkanes having even number of carbon atoms, have higher melting point than carbon atom having odd number of than the hydrocarbon. Then hydrocarbon having odd number of carbon atom. Then alkane having odd number of carbon atom. Okay. Next come to another, that is solubility. So what is the solubility? So these are generally insoluble in polar solvents like water and alcohol. However, these are soluble in non-polar solvents like benzene, carbon tetrachloride, etc. So these are non-polar in nature. These are non-polar in nature, hence insoluble in polar solvents like water, alcohol, etc. But soluble in non-polar solvents, non-polar solvents like benzene, ether, carbon tetrachloride, etc. Okay, so these are some physical properties of alkane. Next come to chemical properties of alkane. So in alkane, there is carbon-carbon single bond. So due to this carbon-carbon single bond, actually these are saturated. So these are reluctant to react with other chemicals. Actually these are remain inert. In this way, these alkanes these have no affinity towards other reactants. That's why these are also known as paraffins. So these are known as paraffins because it has no reactivity towards other reactants. However, if we apply temperature or in presence of light, it undergo free radical substitution reaction to form different product. So although these are inert, although these are reluctant to react with others, that's these are known as paraffins, still these undergo reaction with some acids like nitric acid, sulfuric acid, fuming sulfuric acid, or concentrated nitric acid or fuming nitric acid, and some halogens in presence of light or at high temperature to form different compounds. Okay, so first come to halogenation reaction. Halogenation. So alkanes reacts with halogens like fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine to form different compounds. So the reactivity of different halogen is reactivity of different halogen is fluorine more reactive than chlorine, then bromine and then iodine. Okay, so first fluorination. So alkane when reacts with fluorine, it reacts violently. Actually, this fluorine has more reactivity towards hydrogen than other. So instead of substitution reaction, it reacts with hydrogen to form HF, hydrogen fluoride, and it liberates the carbon. Okay, so in this way, fluorination. So alkane, for example, methane, when reacts with fluorine, it reacts very rapidly or violently to form carbon plus 4HF. Okay. Next, so this is methane and carbon. Similarly, if you take ethane, C2H6 plus hydrogen, that is 3F2, reacts violently reacts to form carbon plus 6HF. In this it reacts violently by replacing all hydrogen. Okay. Next, chlorination. So alkanes reacts with chlorine in presence of sunlight to form alkyl chloride, and this reaction is a continuous process. Each process of chlorine is taken, then all the hydrogen atoms from these alkanes are replaced step by step. Okay, all the hydrogens from alkanes replaced step by step to give a mixture of different chloroalkanes. Okay, so alkane reacts with alkanes reacts with chlorine in presence of sunlight, to form alkyl chlorides, But if excess of chlorine is used, it gives a mixture of different chloroalkanes. Okay, let us look at the example of methane. So look at the chlorination of methane. So methane reacts with chlorine in presence of sunlight or temperature between 500 to 600 Kelvin. So this is methane. It gives methyl chloride plus hydrochloric acid. So if this is methyl chloride, similarly if excess of chlorine is taken, then what happens? This halogen, this methyl chloride again reacts with chlorine to another hydrogen replaced from here. So hydrochloric acid is formed. It forms some CH2Cl2 plus HCl. That is dichloromethane, or you can say methylene chloride. And again this dichloromethane CH2Cl2 reacts with another molecules of chlorine to form CHCl3 plus HCl. This is chloroform or trichloromethane. Similarly, this chloroform reacts with another molecule of chlorine in presence of HNO to give carbon tetrachloride. All the hydrogen atoms are replaced to give HCl. This is carbon tetrachloride. Okay, so in this way, carbon tetrachloride or tetrachlorocarbon. So in this way, methane reacts with chlorine in presence of sunlight to form methyl chloride. If excess of chlorine is taken, then it forms a mixture of methyl chloride, dichloromethane, chloroform and carbon tetrachloride. Okay, if excess of chlorine taken, it gives a mixture of methyl chloride, dichloromethane, chloroform and carbon tetrachloride. Okay, so in this way halogenation takes place, and this halogen process follows the free radical substitution reaction. Okay, so what is the mechanism of this free radical substitution reaction? Look at what is the mechanism of this free radical substitution reaction. What is the mechanism of free radical substitution reaction of fluorine? So this reaction involves in 3 steps. In step 1, that is called the chain initiation, and another chain propagation, and another step known as chain termination. So this reaction involves 3 steps. 1. Chain initiation. That is the step 1. Step 1, chain initiation. In chain initiation, what happens? So chlorine, you can write this as like this, chlorine. So shared pair of electron between them. So when sunlight is present, in presence of sunlight, it gives rise to chlorine free radical, Cl dot plus Cl dot. So this step is the step 1. This is called chain initiation step. In chain initiation, chlorine free radical is formed. Okay, so chlorine free radical is formed. So here chlorine free radical is formed. Next step is chain propagation. Next, step 2, chain propagation. In chain propagation, what happens? This chlorine free radical reacts with alkane to form HCl and it generates another free radical, this methyl. And again this methyl free radical reacts with another chlorine molecule to form methyl another chlorine to form another chlorine free radical. So in this process is continued till all the hydrogen atoms are replaced by chlorine atom. Okay, so look at here. So in chain propagation, so first this is suppose CH4 is there. Okay, so this CH4 hydrogen is there. Okay, so plus chlorine free radical, it combines here to form CH3CH. It combines here to form HCl and generate another free radical. That is CH3 free radical plus HCl in this way. And again this CH3 free radical combines with another chlorine molecule to generate this methyl chloride and again this chlorine free radical. And again this free radical reacts with this CH3Cl. If this CH3, so this CH3 combines with here to form methyl chloride and liberate one chlorine free radical. Again this chlorine free radical combines with here this methyl chloride CH3Cl combined with another free radical. So it again liberates one hydrogen from here and it forms CH2Cl free radical plus HCl. And again this CH2Cl free radical combines with chlorine molecule to liberate to form CH2Cl2. So here one chlorine comes here and CH2Cl2Cl, so one chlorine comes here and it again generates another chlorine free radical. And again this two combine, look here, again this CH2Cl2 plus this chlorine free radical again generate CH3, and this one hydrogen comes here. So the one hydrogen comes here, so it forms CH2. So instead of CH2Cl2 and Cl, so it forms CHCl2 free radical and HCl. So this CHCl2 free radical again combines with another chlorine molecule to, so it again generates another chlorine free radical. So it forms CH3 plus Cl dot. And again these two combine, so one hydrogen again replaced to generate a trichlorocarbon free radical. Again this CHCl3 plus this chlorine free radical. So here it again attacks one H here hydrogen free radical and CCl3 free radical is formed here. It forms CCl3 dot plus HCl. And again this CCl3 combines with another molecule of chlorine to form CCl4 plus chlorine free radical. So this is stepwise as all the hydrogen atoms are replaced by chlorine. Okay, all the hydrogen atoms are replaced by this chlorine free radical. In this way, this step is called chain propagation step, and this continued till all the hydrogen are replaced. And the last step is chain termination. Chain termination. So what are the remaining free radicals? They combine among themselves to form different free radicals. Look here. Here some chlorine free radicals are there. I have taken large amount of this substance. There are some chlorine free radicals. So this chlorine free radical again combines with another chlorine free radical to form chlorine. In some cases, methyl free radicals combines with this chlorine free radical to form methyl chloride. And in some cases, this methyl free radical again combines with methyl free radical to form ethane. So in this way, different products are also formed as the side product. Along with this halogen content, it also forms this type of some alkanes are all formed. This is the chain termination, after which the reaction is completed. Okay, so note down this. Similarly, when ethane reacts with chlorine, C2H6 plus chlorine, it gives rise, in presence of sunlight, it gives rise to C2H5Cl plus HCl. That is ethyl chloride. Ethyl chloride. Okay, and this is ethane. So ethane reacts in the same way to form ethyl chloride. Here also, if excess of chlorine taken, then all hydrogen atoms are replaced by chlorine to form different chlorine substituted alkane. Chlorine substituted ethane. Okay, so ethane reacts with chlorine to form ethyl chloride. Next come to bromination. Bromine reacts in the same way as that of chlorine. Bromine reacts in the same way as that of chlorine, but the reaction takes place in presence of light. But the reaction takes place in presence of temperature. Instead of light, the reaction takes place in presence of heat, that is high temperature. At high temperature in presence of heat. Okay, so for example, methane reacts with bromine in presence of heat. For heat, we are giving this delta sign. It gives rise to CH3Br plus HBr. Okay, this is methyl bromide. Methyl bromide. Similarly, if this methane reacts with bromine excess and in presence of heat, then what will it form? It forms a mixture of CH3Br plus CH2Br2 plus CHBr3 plus CBr4. That is bromophone, tetrabromocarbon. So in this is same way it reacts to form different products. Similarly, when ethane reacts with bromine in presence of heat, it gives C2H5Br plus HBr. So one bromine comes here, one hydrogen comes here. And this reaction occurs also by free radical substitution reaction. The free radical substitution mechanism. We follow the free radical substitution reaction. So this is bromoethane. Bromoethane or ethyl bromide. Okay. So note down this. Next come to iodination. So in iodination reaction, this alkane reacts with iodine to form alkyl halide. But this reaction is reversible. As the reactivity decreases, in this the iodine is less reactive towards this. So iodination reaction, this is reversible in nature because the hydrogen iodide formed here acts as a reducing agent and it reduces this alkyl iodide to alkane again. In this way, to make this reaction one direction, that is irreversible, this reaction generally takes place in presence of some oxidizing agent. Okay, so iodination is reversible in nature. Iodination of alkyl halide is reversible in nature. Alkyl halide is reversible in nature because HCl formed here reduces alkyl iodide to alkane. So to prevent this, the reaction takes place. The reaction is carried out in presence of some oxidizing agents like HiO3 or HNO3, etc. Look here, CH4 methane plus iodine, so it is reversible, gives methyl iodide plus HI, and this again reacts with methyl iodide to form this methyl iodide. But if the reaction takes place, methane plus iodine give rise to methyl iodide plus HI. If here we use HiO3 or HNO3, if we use either HiO3 or HNO3, because this HiO3 reacts with again HRE to form 2HiO3, give rise to here 2HiO3 plus HI. So here it gives H2O plus I2. It gives H2O plus I2. So to balance this, as there are HiO3 is there, HI is there, so we can write like, look here, HiO3, 3H2O. For 3H2O there are 6, it requires 3H2O. So for 3H2O we can write 5HiO3 and here HI. So total 6H or 3O and here 3I2. Okay, in this way another HNO3 reacts with HI to form H2O. It also forms H2O, NO2 and I2. H2O, NO2 and I2. Okay, so in this way, so the HI is used of here, and instead of giving the reducing product is alkane, it gives this alkyl iodide. Okay, this is how the halogenation reaction takes place. Next come for the reaction oxidation. So the any hydrocarbon when undergo complete oxidation, generally it forms carbon dioxide and water. Similarly, alkanes also on complete oxidation gives carbon dioxide and water. But this alkane under incomplete oxidation gives different product, and also in presence of catalytic oxidation, when it undergoes catalytic oxidation, it also forms different product. So this alkane on complete oxidation, alkane on complete oxidation or means or on or when bond completely with oxygen, it gives carbon dioxide and water. So for general formula, if the alkane has formula CnH12 plus 2, then it requires 3n plus 1 by 2 number of oxygen molecule to give n moles of carbon dioxide plus n plus 1 moles of water. So in this way, if you take the example of methane, then it requires 2 moles of oxygen to give carbon dioxide plus 2 H2O. Similarly, if this is ethane, it requires 7 by 2, 3n, 2 into 3, that is 6 plus 1, 7. So in this 7 by 2, O2 give rise to 2 CO2 plus 3 H2O. Okay, so when completely bond, it gives carbon dioxide and water. But when it is called complete combustion, or you can say complete oxidation, on complete oxidation it gives, or complete oxidation or complete combustion. Okay, next, incomplete combustion. Incomplete combustion or incomplete oxidation. Incomplete oxidation. So when alkane undergo incomplete oxidation, it forms carbon monoxide or in some cases unburned carbon particles. Okay, so CH4 plus O2 give rise to CO plus H2O, and another CH4 plus O2, it gives carbon plus H2O. In some cases, this is unburned carbon particle, and this is carbon monoxide. So alkanes, when undergo complete combustion, carbon dioxide and water. When undergo incomplete combustion, it forms in some cases carbon monoxide, which is poisonous, and in some cases unburned carbon particles. So to make it balance, you can write 2, 3, 2, 4 and CH4O2 carbon plus 2 H2O. This is in solid form. Okay, so this is the incomplete combustion. However, on catalytic oxidation, it gives different product. Next, come to catalytic oxidation. So alkanes on catalytic oxidation using different catalysts under different conditions of temperature and pressure gives different product. For example, when methane undergo oxidation in presence of copper, when methane and oxygen is taken in the ratio 9:1 at 100 atmospheric pressure and 523 Kelvin, it gives methyl alcohol. Look here. So methane, when reacts with oxygen in the ratio 9:1, in prepared over at 100 atmospheric pressure and 523 Kelvin in presence of copper, 100 atmospheric pressure, 523 Kelvin, and in presence of copper as catalyst, it forms methyl alcohol, CH3OH. So we can write 2CH3OH. Similarly, when methane undergo oxidation in presence of molybdenum oxide, then it forms formaldehyde. That is formaldehyde plus water. Okay. So methane, when undergo catalytic oxidation in presence of copper at 523 Kelvin and 100 atmospheric pressure, it forms methanol. Similarly, methane, when undergo oxidation in presence of molybdenum oxide, it forms formaldehyde. Okay. Similarly, ethane also forms ethanoic acid and ethanol in different conditions of temperature, pressure, and different catalysts. Okay. So these are some ideas about the oxidation. So these two are important: complete oxidation and incomplete oxidation. In complete oxidation, it gives carbon dioxide and water, and in incomplete oxidation, it gives carbon monoxide or carbon particles. Next, come to another type of reaction, that is called isomerization. So alkane having more than 4 number of carbon atom, when heated in presence of aluminum chloride at about 35 atmospheric pressure and 573 Kelvin, so it undergoes isomerization. So it is a straight chain isomer, then it forms a branch chain isomer. So it forms, that reaction is known as isomerization. It undergoes rearrangement to form another isomer. Okay. So alkanes with 4 or more number of carbon atoms, when heated with aluminum chloride at about 573 Kelvin and 35 atmospheric pressure, it undergo rearrangement to form isomers. This reaction is known as isomerization. For example, when butane, look here, and butane, CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3, and butane heated with AlCl3 at 573 Kelvin and about 35 atmospheric pressure. This methyl group join here and hydrogen comes here. In this way, it undergoes rearrangement to form CH3, that is 2-methyl propane or isobutane. So this is a straight chain isomer, this is a branch chain isomer. This is called isomerization reaction. Next, come to another known as aromatization. So when alkane having more number of carbon atoms, 6 or more number of carbon atoms, alkanes having 6 or more number of carbon atoms when heated at about 773 Kelvin, then it undergo dehydrogenation to form aromatic compounds or its homologous. So this reaction is known as aromatization. Okay. So look at the sentence. Alkanes with 6 or more number of carbon atoms when heated at about 773 Kelvin and 10 to 20 atmospheric pressure in presence of chromium oxide or aluminum oxide, it forms an aromatic compound or its homologous. So this reaction is known as aromatization. Look here. Suppose there is hexane, N-hexane is there. CH2, CH2, and here CH2, and this one CH3. So instead of straight chain, I have written in this way so that it can become easier to explain. So this is CH3, CH3. These two are not joined. So when these are heated in presence of Cr2O3 at 773 Kelvin or Al2O3. Then it gives rise to first minus H2 takes place. It forms CH2, CH2, then in this way cyclization, first cyclization takes place, and from here again minus 3H2, 6 atoms of hydrogen removed, and it forms, that is, benzene. Okay, so this is benzene, and this is hexane, N-hexane. Similarly, if there is heptane is taken, look here, instead of this CH3, CH2 and CH2. Also, instead of writing the CH2, just I am writing the bond line structure in this way. If this is present, then here also in presence of Cr2O3 and Al2O3 at 773 Kelvin, it gives rise to first methyl cyclohexane. And this here minus H2, one hydrogen CH3 minus H2. So here methyl cyclohexane, and methyl cyclohexane here from 2-3 hydrogen molecules are removed, and it gives the homologous of benzene, that is toluene. This is toluene. This is methyl cyclohexane. And this is heptane. Okay, so in this way it forms aromatic compound. Next, another reaction, that is reaction with steam. So hydrocarbons when reacts with steam at higher temperature, that is water vapor at higher temperature in presence of nickel, generally it forms water gas. It is a mixture of carbon monoxide and hydrogen. Similarly, so when methane reacts with steam, that is water, at 1273 Kelvin in presence of nickel, it forms carbon monoxide plus 3H2. So this mixture is known as water gas. Okay, so this is used as well in industry. Next, come to another reaction, that is pyrolysis. Pyro means heat, lysis means breaking. So when an alkane is heated at higher temperature, then it forms so the thermal crack, it forms a mixture of lower alkanes and alkenes. It forms a mixture of lower alkanes and alkenes. So due to which small molecules are formed. So this process is called pyrolysis or thermal cracking. So different petroleum products are generally formed due to this pyrolysis or cracking. Okay. For example, look here. Suppose there is butane, CH3, CH2 and CH2, CH3. So it is heated at higher temperature about 773 Kelvin. Then it gives rise to what are the possible structure. From here we can get one methane and one propane, CH3, CH double one, CH2, and also the mixture of ethane and ethane, CH2 double one, CH2. So this is ethane, ethane. Methane, propane. So it undergo decomposition to form lower alkanes and alkenes. So this reaction is known as pyrolysis or thermal cracking. So note down this sentence. Often alkanes are heated to high temperature at about 770 Kelvin. Then they undergo decomposition to form lower alkanes and alkenes. So here one example. So this reaction is known as thermal cracking or pyrolysis. So here we have left one thing, that is isomerism in alkane. So in isomerism, generally alkanes undergo chain isomerism. So structural isomerism, it undergoes chain isomerism, and still higher it can undergo, in some cases it can undergo also position isomerism. Already we have discussed what is the chain isomerism and position isomerism. But another type of isomerism here I have to discuss, that is alkanes undergo stereoisomerism. So stereoisomerisms are of different types, that is your optical isomerism, another is known as your geometrical isomerism, another conformational isomerism. So alkanes exhibit the conformational isomerism. So here conformational isomerism of ethane. So you know in ethane there are two carbon atoms, and each carbon atom is tetrahedrally. Each carbon atom is sp3 hybridized, so it has tetrahedral structure. And there is one sp3 sigma bond. So suppose look here, there are the three hydrogen atoms. These three fingers are three hydrogen atoms, and these three fingers are three hydrogen atoms. Then and this is the sigma bond between them. Then what happens? So due to this sigma bond around this ethane, the free rotation of these molecule takes place. So free rotation of molecules around these sigma bond that takes place. So if you keep one carbon atom fixed and you can rotate the another carbon atom, in this way, in the space you can get the different arrangements. So different spatial arrangements of atoms and groups with respect to another carbon hydrogen group. So due to the spatial arrangement of atoms or groups, there are different types of structures. So two extreme structures are there. Look here. Suppose this is one hydrogen atom, and these are the three hydrogen atoms, and these 2 points are the carbon atoms. In this way, I can express this in two ways. So there is two. Look here. If one is parallel to another, in this way one type of arrangement, in this way another type of arrangement. So this type of arrangement, if one just remain behind another, so that type of arrangement is known as eclipsed arrangement. This is called eclipsed configuration of ethane. And when these are rotated and another, if one is just opposite to each other, one hydrogen atom is at maximum distance, when we rotate it about 180 degree, then that type of conformation is known as staggered conformation. That is known as the staggered conformation. And in between these two eclipsed and staggered conformation, what are the other parts that are known as the skew conformations? To represent this in pen and paper, there are two types of projection formula. One is known as Newman projection formula, another known as Sawhorst projection formula. So according to this Newman projection formula, the front curve, so carbon, they tell you on the carbon atom which is towards I, that is represented as a point, and three hydrogen atoms that remain at 120 degree to each other, and the back carbon that is represented by, this is carbon, hydrogen, hydrogen and hydrogen, and the back carbon is represented by a circle, and the three hydrogen atoms are also there. If one hydrogen remains just behind the another here, and one remains just behind the another, and one remains just behind the another, this type of configuration is known as eclipsed configuration. This is eclipsed configuration. And another that is known as, this is the front carbon that will remain fixed, and the back carbon atom along with hydrogen that have to rotate. So when it rotate, so it forms, if this hydrogen comes here and this hydrogen comes here, this hydrogen comes here. So in this way, the back carbons are represented like this. So this is hydrogen, and here hydrogen, and here hydrogen. This is known as staggered conformation. Staggered conformation. And this is eclipsed conformation. Eclipsed conformation. This is eclipsed conformation. Okay, so this type of projection formula is known as Newman projection formula. And another represented by just bond length structure. So if one hydrogen atom remains just behind the other, so that these two are nearer to each, to that I can write H, 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 H. So these two hydrogens are parallel. These two hydrogens are in parallel, and these two hydrogens are also remain in parallel form. Then we can write, this is eclipsed form. This is in eclipsed form, and another that can be represented at maximum distance. When this is, so the front, to this front one, you have to keep fixed. With the back, you have to rotate. So in this way, and it has like this, and for this like this. H, 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 H. And this is known as, this is Newman projection formula, another Sawhorst projection formula. This is the staggered conformation. Okay, so these are the different arrangements of ethane. So when the two hydrogen atoms are parallel to each other, just one hydrogen remain above another, below, behind another, that is known as the eclipsed. And when these are rotated just opposite to that, it is known as the staggered conformation. So among the eclipsed and staggered conformation, the staggered conformation is more stable. Okay, so this is something about the alkanes.